if you're working with the ESP32 BLE library with, the Arduino IDE, then one of the things you're going to really need to learn is how to create clients. So if you watch some of the previous lessons in this series, we talked about creating a server. Now we're going to talk about creating a client. So what I'm going to do is outline all the stuff that we're going to go over in this lesson. Now we are going to get nitty gritty. We're going to go line by line through the code. So this is going to be a pretty detailed technical lesson. But if your goal is to actually write code using the Arduino IDE to get BLE stuff to work, then you're in the right place. What I'll be doing specifically here is we're going to go over just the minimum stuff we need to get a client working. So let me write out all the stuff I want to do, and then we'll talk about it. Alright, so it's a big old list of stuff, but I think we'll be able to get through it pretty quick. So let's just walk through this real quick. So first thing we need to do is create a device. Now, if you remember kind of the outline, the design of this BLE library, you'll remember that we've got a device, and this is kind of the top of the hierarchy. And a device can make a server, or a device can make a client. So in this case, we're making a client, and we'll also be doing a scan. Okay, so back here we go. Okay, so we're going to create our device just like we did when we worked on the server code. So it's going to be just like that. Then we're going to perform a BLE scan. You might think that a client does a scan, but actually it's at the device level that a scan is performed. And a scan is like its own thing. It's its own object and stuff, which we'll be talking about. Then what we'll be doing is adding some callbacks for our scan. So basically every time the scan finds a device, it's going to do something for us. Then we'll actually create our client. We'll create some client callbacks. I want to turn on an LED when we connect to a specific server, and then turn off just the onboard LED when we disconnect from the server. And then I want to actually connect to the server. So we'll have our client. We're going to say, hey, connect to a server. It's going to be a specific server. In fact, it's going to be the server that we previously created in lessons before this, so you'll want to check out those lessons if you haven't seen them yet. And then finally what we're going to do is we're going to read the characteristic value that's on one of the services of that server. Specifically, we've got our server set up so that it reports the time and seconds that it's been running. So I just want to be able to read that value on my client. So my server is basically advertising that, and we're going to pick it up in this client and read it. All right, so I think where I'm going to start is with creating this device. So let me write some code and we'll talk about it. All right, so I wrote a little code. Let's talk about this. So the first thing I did is I included this BLE device library. And if you didn't know, when you include a library, that gives you all the functionality from that library. Like that's how you pull in all the capabilities. And that's what's so amazing about Arduino is there's tons of open source libraries out there. So it's great to be able to pull those in instead of having to write all that stuff from scratch. So a big shout out to all those awesome open source developers out there who are making this stuff available. This BLE device library, like I've mentioned in a previous lesson when we were talking about the client, it actually includes other header files in it, like the BLE Client header file and a couple other ones. In fact, we can just go check it out. Go to the definition here. Okay, you can see that this header file also includes the server, the client utils, scan, and the address. So we don't need to, we'll be using a client, we'll be using the scan, but we don't have to include those separately because they're already here. Why add it? Okay, so then what I did in setup is I started serial communication, pretty common thing to do. And if you're not familiar with like serial communication, or if like right now you're kind of like, man, I don't know what's going on, definitely check out programmingelectronics.com. We have got some great training there that can get you up to speed fast with programming with Arduino and building cool projects and stuff like that. Okay, final thing I did here in setup is I initialized our BLE device. Now, if you're looking at this syntax wondering like, what the heck is going on? Trust me, you're not alone. So basically what's going on here is BLE device is a class, and BLE device doesn't want you to make a bunch of instances of BLE devices. We can only have one BLE device in a given sketch. So maybe you've worked with other classes, other libraries like, say, the servo library. Well, you can create several instances of a servo. You can have like servo 1, servo 2, servo 3. Well, that's not the case for BLE devices. You can only make one BLE device. And what it does is it sets up the whole BLE stack. And so this init function is what's called a static function of this library, of this class. And so when we initialize this, we're not creating like a unique BLE device per se. We're just creating the BLE device that we're going to be able to use throughout the program. Now, I don't know, maybe that's clear as mud, but just trying to explain it as best I can. Anyhow, when you're using a static function that's part of a class, you use this : to reference it. Because you might be thinking, wait, if init is a function of this class, why wouldn't it be BLE device dot init? Right? Just like serial.begin. Begin is a function of the serial library. But again, the reason is because init is a static function in this library. And that's why I use that : Okay, clear as mud, I'm sure. Now, the parameter that we pass into init is normally the name of the device. And when we created the server, we passed in a name. It was like CIA monitoring device or something like that. Well, when you're creating a client, you don't really need to add a device name because nobody's going to be looking for your client. The client's the one looking for other people. So there's really no need to pass in a name. So I just added those empty quotes. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at our to-do list to see what we did here. All right, so we included that BLE device library and we initialized the device, and that's basically created our device. All right, so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and work on this BLE scanning so that we can search for BLE devices out there that are advertising. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, so I wrote 3 lines of code here, and these are what's setting up our scan. But before we talk about this code, I want to talk a little bit about the scan just graphically, because I think this graphical representation can help us out a little bit. Okay, so what I want to do is I just want to remind you that a device is what starts a scan. And a scan is an object that we can use when we want to perform a scan. So, like a scan, the word scan, it's like a verb, right? You would think like, oh, hey, this is, doing the scan when I call this scan function, right? Well, we're actually going to first create a scan object. And then once we have that scan object, that's how we can perform a scan. And we can set attributes for the scan, like how we want it to do the scan and that kind of thing. But again, the scan comes from the device level. You might think like, hey, I'm a client, I'm going to do a scan. Yes, that's very typical, but the scan isn't attached to the client. The scan is actually a part of the device. Now, what's also important to note is that you can only get one scan object in a sketch. So just like with the device, there's only one device, well, there's only one scan. Okay, so we talked about what this scan object is. Let's look at how we actually create a scan in the code. And that's this first line of code right here. We are going to call our BLE device class, and we are going to get our scan object. Notice that we're using this : and if you recall, that's because getScan is a static function of this BLE device class. So we're not getting a unique scan object, we're getting the scan object from this BLE device class. Okay, now this getScan is going to return a pointer to a BLE scan. That's the type of object it is, a BLE scan. And so what we did is we created a variable pBLEScan. It's a pointer to the BLE scan object. So when we want to work with our scan, we use this pointer pBLEScan. And the P in front of the BLE scan is just saying, hey, this is a variable that's a pointer. And if you didn't know, a pointer is simply a variable that holds the address of another variable. Now, if that means absolutely nothing to you, that's totally fine. Check out programmingelectronics.com. We've got a training course specifically on understanding and using pointers. Hopefully it can provide you some clarity. But this BLE library is full of pointers, so you want to try to get a little comfortable with how they work. Okay, so now we've got our scan. Now what we want to do is we want to say, hey scan, we want you to be an active scan. And that's what we do on this next line of code. So you might be wondering like, hey, what's an active scan? Well, let's go back to this little diagram here, and I've got another page here. All right, so let's check out this diagram here. Hopefully this will help explain some of this active and passive scanning. All right, so in BLE, we can perform a scan. So we know that we can scan for stuff, right? And we can either perform an active or a passive scan. So what does that mean? Well, if you're a device that is advertising different services, then you can have advertising data associated with your device. And there's two different types of advertising data that you can have. You can have passive advertising data, and you can have active advertising data. In fact, you can have both. You can have passive and active. Now, if you only have passive advertising, what it means is that when a client does a scan, a passive scan, you're going to send it some basic information, like maybe your name and address. And that's it. You don't have any more information you're going to send about your services. Just some really basic stuff. And it's not going to require, when you do this advertising, it doesn't require a client to connect in order to send that information. All you have to do is perform a scan, and you can grab this information. Real basic stuff, right? But there's some additional advertisement data that you can set as active. And this advertisement data might just be some more details about the services you offer. But you're only going to send this information out, this other active data, if the scan is performing an active scan. So if I'm performing the scan, let's say this is a client performing a scan and this is a server advertising services. If I perform a passive scan, all I'm going to get is this passive information. Again, no connection required between these two devices. Now, if I do an active scan, I'm going to get this passive data, and then I'm going to call back again, and I'm going to get this active data. I'm doing an active scan, so I'm going to get both of these. And this also, to do an active scan, does not require a connection. So my client does not need to be connected to the server in order to make this active scan happen. Now you might be like, man, this seems a little redundant. Why don't you just fit all this active stuff into the passive stuff, just make it one thingamabob, right? Well, here's the deal. It's all in the name. Bluetooth Low Energy. Every time you perform a scan, it requires power. And every time you're a device and you're sending more information, requires power, right? So if you're being super power conscious, you don't want to have these active scans on. You just want to keep it passive. Okay, hopefully that made a little bit of sense. I don't know. So let's go back to our code here. This next line of code right here, BLE scan set active scan, is basically saying, hey, we want our device to do an active scan. So it's going to get the passive data, and then it's going to perform an active scan. And if the device has any additional information about the services it provides, it's going to get that information too. Now, notice this little arrow right here. You might be wondering like, hey, what's the deal with this arrow? Well, set active scan is a function of this BLE scan object, right? But since BLE scan here, we're working with a pointer. In order to access those functions, those member functions, you don't use the dot operator, you use this little arrow. So that's what's going on there. Now this final line of code is where we actually start the scan. So here's our scan object. We say, hey, start, and 5 represents the number of seconds that it's going to perform the scan. And then the second argument we send is false. And this is whether or not we want it to be a continuous scan. So do we want it to scan for 5 seconds, stop, and then do the scan again, stop, do the scan again, going. If we wanted that to be the case, we'd set that to true. But we just want it to run this scan 5 seconds and be done with it. In fact, you can even run this function without this second argument. You can run it just like this, but we're just going to keep it in there. So man, that's a lot. I know this is a lot. Hopefully you're hanging in there with me. Okay, so what did we do? We performed our BLE scan. The next thing I'm going to do is write some callbacks for the scan. Because right now, okay, hey, we're performing a scan, but like nothing's happening. I want something to happen, right? So what we're going to do is create an advertised device callback. So every time we find a device, we're going to do something. So I'll write some code and then we'll talk about it. Check out the description for hardware and training we recommend you use for this ESP32 BLE library. Now, if you want to watch the next video in the series, check out this video right here. Or if you want to see the full Monty, all of these BLE videos stitched together into one mega one, you can check it out right here. Either here or here. Either here or here.